Welcome to another episode of Racing to Learn. We are a nonprofit that uses radio control to get kids excited about math and science. We're working on our ProLine ProFusion SC 4x4 today. We're continuing to build up the diffs here in this build series. You guys can check out the complete collection in our in the playlist that's in the video description. We also have a complete playlist on the ProLine ProMT 4x4. So essentially the same truck here, but with a shorter chassis. So we're working on the differentials today. We're gonna build the front differential. In the previous episode we built the center differential. Not a huge difference here between the center, front, and rear, except we're gonna put different weight oils in them. So this is a way to tune the rate at which they call it in the real world, or on real cars they call it the limited slip effect. So we've got 500,000 weight oil that was included with the kit in the center differential. In the front and rear diffs, they recommend a black grease, but we're going to go ahead to enhance that limited slip effect here. We're going to go ahead and put 100,000 weight fluid in the front differential, and we're probably going to go with the 60,000 weight fluid for the rear differential, because folks on the forums have recommended 100 weight in the front, 500 in the center, 50 in the rear, 50,000 in the rear, but we only have 60,000 on hand, so that's probably what we're going to use unless we purchase some other fluid there. So we're going to go ahead and, all these differentials are identical minus the output gear or input gear, whatever you want to call it, except, all except for the gear. The front and rears have a straight bevel gear, whereas the center diff has just a flat gear, or straight cut gear. All right, so we're going to open up one of these other diff bags. We are going with the upgraded diff set from, this is a differential case set from Kraken RC. These guys are renowned for the fifth scale RCs that they build, and they do offer up differential cases and a variety of upgrades for the Pro MT and the Pro Fusion. So this is a wonderfully machined diff case. We're gonna just open up one half here. We've got our bag open. Another thing we're doing while we're building these is we're just gonna use some Race Tech ultra slick seal grease on any of the O-rings. There's this really small O-ring that goes around the differential input, and so we're just going to put a little dab of this ultra slick grease here. It's really minimal on the shaft of the differential. So also, what this helps with is, like, when you're building shocks, you never want to put an O-ring on without any sort of grease on there, or silicone fluid. So, it is ultra slick. All right, and so we're just gonna get this kind of stretched over. And seat that O-ring here. We might as well do the other side while we've got our hands greasy. So just gonna put some on the shaft and grab the other O-ring, or another one, so we've got a whole set of them for all three differentials. Now what the differentials do is they create a differential in speed in terms of the output shaft and the output shafts and the input gear. So they essentially split power, and whether that be from left to right or from front to rear, that's why these trucks have 3 gears or all-wheel drive or 3 differentials. So you've got torque and power being split to all 4 wheels, front and back, left to right, through these differentials. All right, so we'll just grab bearing here, like the instructions say, put it on this end of the diff case, and then slide the input shaft in. And then we're gonna grab a couple more of these parts here. Just get these all out here. Grab an O-ring, a larger O-ring. And just kind of use some of that residual ultra slick I've got on my fingers. Or I could dab it like this. And just get that on there. One of these large diff shims. Press that in, and then we're going to get one of the pins here. And these can be a little bit tricky to get in, so if you have a magnetized hex, that helps. Oop. Just gonna line this up here and then just push that pin in, center it, and then grab one of the gears with a slot in it. Put that slot in. There we go. Okay, got the drive pin gear installed, and then just go ahead and grab the cross pins. You guys probably saw us do this in the previous video too. Grab cross pins, the gears here, a small washer, and we found it easier just to do one side at a time, meaning 2 of these spider gears. Drop it in first into the diff housing, just so that you're not trying to balance all 4 here at once. Make sure you separate all those shims too. Okay, drop this in. Debris there, I'm not sure what that was. Might pop that out actually. Looks like there's a, I don't know if that's a hair or something. A piece of shredded paper, but always good to have these. Oops. Realign that pin here. And so that's probably it's not centered. Get that pin in the center. Then we could drop that gear back on. There we go. And the spider gears go back in. Oh, we lost some washers. And having agile fingers is a nice thing to have when assembling these diffs. All right, there we go. So you want the notch facing up in the cross pin so that the other notch can just drop on top there. So we'll get these other 2 spider gears and their matching shims on the cross pins. And then we'll go ahead and fill up this diff with some diff fluid. All right, so get these lined up, drop it in. All right. Just a shred of paper on there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pour in some 100-weight silicone diff fluid. We're just using associated here because that's what we have around the shop. 100 weight is pretty, or 100,000 is pretty thick too. So, you know, I'm really squeezing this to get it in here. Not as thick as the 500,000, but definitely pretty thick stuff. All right, and you can turn the differential output shaft here. I'm gonna get those gears to turn and pull that fluid down. Make sure that those gears don't pop out though when you spin the output shaft. We can get some more in here. Again, you don't want to fill it past the cross pins. As the instructions state. So we might just put some in here and let it kind of settle and flatten out. And then see if we need to add any more. All right, well, while that's settling, we can assemble the other side of the diff. So, I'll grab these, the other side of the Kraken CNC aluminum diff housing here. Grab a bearing. And then put the output shaft in. And then an O-ring. Get the other square O-ring out while I'm at it here. Okay, get that O-ring. Oh, we might as well put some of this ultra slick on that O-ring. I should have did that before putting the O-ring in, but might as well do it right here. Pop that out. I'm going to flip that O-ring around to get it adequately greased on both sides. And in the middle there of that donut of that O-ring. Okay. All right, get the dry pin in. And pop the gear on. And pretty much ready to seal this up. Now again, since we are using an aluminum diff case, we'll want to use the thread lock here as we put in the screws, but you guys can refer to our previous video to see how we did that. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Thanks again for watching.